Okay, so it says we're live. Are we actually live? Give it a couple of seconds for the video to catch up on my phone here. There it goes. All right. So we've got another GI Joe classified retro card figure to open up, and this is Courtney Covergirl Krieger. And you can see she's got two different heads. Now, the previous CoverGirl figure that was released in the main classified line, you might recall that a lot of people had a problem with the head sculpt for that figure. Now, personally, I actually liked that head fairly well, but I do kind of feel like it had a look to it that was a little more severe and almost looked kind of European, if that makes any sense. I thought it was a lovely head sculpt, but I don't think it fit most people's image of what CoverGirl should look like, just because she should probably look a little more American, right? Like that kind of girl next door kind of look. She is a high fashion model, but I think people were expecting more of like a high fashion model, like a Cheryl Tiegs or something like that. And what they got was like more the European type of fashion model. And like, I'm not saying one's better than the other, folks. I'm not saying one's better than the other. All types of women are beautiful. Like Grant G is here and says, I like the Techno Viper figure they re-released. Yeah, the Techno Viper was awesome. I opened him up a while back. I think it was probably like maybe like a year ago, whenever that was that first came out. I really liked the Techno. I liked the original Techno Viper, so I was really excited to get the new version. But I'm getting ahead of myself in opening up the package. We got this nice piece of artwork over here on the side, and CoverGirl was never a single carded figure in the original vintage line, so she didn't get card art. So they had to make card art up completely. You can see she comes with a number of interesting accessories, and like I said, some extra heads. So if you were somebody who was disappointed with that original CoverGirl head, hey, you can pop one of these onto that one, and there you go. You're taken care of. And it looks to me like she's got some new parts. Like the legs are different from the original, new to CoverGirl anyway. That might be reused from something else, but she looks like she's got different legs from what the original one had. Because I'm pretty sure the original one just had Lady J's legs again, if I remember correctly. And she's got some tools that should come in handy. And here's the cross-salt artwork on the back. We've got Flint, which is going to be the next figure that I open up. And I don't have the whatchamacallit, the Televiper. I don't have the Televiper yet, but I will get him eventually, I'm sure. But I haven't got him yet. But let's go ahead and read her file card. CoverGirl, Krieger, Courtney A, role armored fighting vehicle driver, primary specialty armor. She doesn't come with a vehicle though, because that'd be a very large vehicle to make for classified. I wouldn't put it beyond them to do it as like a Kickstarter type thing or something, but they haven't yet. Secondary specialty AFV mechanics, and you can see she's got some tools with her, so you can have her work on the machinery. Birthplace Peoria, Illinois. CoverGirl was a high fashion model before growing disillusioned and enlisting to put a new direction in her life. Her phenomenal mechanical repair and driving skills reduced most people to stuttering fools, even more so than her stunning good looks. So yeah, one thing that I even though like I do think these are inferior to the original file cards, I like that the retro card figures have file cards, which is more than I can say for the regular classified line. And here's her figure stand, and that's another thing that I'll say for the retro card figures over the regular classified line. Why don't all the classified figures come with figure stands? At this point, there's no excuse not to. I've got them with the retro card figures. Why aren't they with the regular classified figures? We need our figure stands, folks. So let's go ahead and get her out of here. Get her out of her little plastic prison. And I dropped something. Something fell on the ground. What was it that fell on the ground? Hopefully it was just that stupid piece of paper. I don't want to fool with it anyway. I don't know. Something fell on the ground. I don't know what it is. Because it looks like everything's in here. Oh, it was one of her hands. Well, there went that stupid piece of paper. It was in there. Can I find it? Is it down here? Yep, she got a solid fist hand, which I'm probably not going to use anyway. But I'm glad I found it just so I could show you what it is. She's got two solid fist hands. In fact, one for each hand. She's got a left fist and a right fist. Maybe so she can punch Clutch in the face when he gets a little too handsy. And then this sledgehammer, which the original CoverGirl did not come with a sledgehammer. She did not come with any accessories, as was typical of vehicle drivers of the time. I think up to that point, the only vehicle driver that came with an accessory other than a helmet was Steeler, who came with an Uzi. Of course, he had an Uzi and a helmet and the binoculars that attached onto the helmet. Clutch had a helmet. Grand Slam had a helmet with a visor. Hawk had a helmet with a visor. But other than that, they didn't come with any weapons, is what I'm saying. But one character that did come with a sledgehammer that was also a vehicle driver, oddly enough, was Toll Booth, who came with the bridge layer. So maybe they're planning on doing a Toll Booth figure at some point, and they're going to reuse that. And then she comes with the classic G.I. Joe laser rifle, the standard on the cartoon series, G.I. Joe armament. And this one is unique in that it has some silver detailing to it that we don't see on... they all seem to have, even though it's the same sculpt, different paint jobs for the laser rifle. And that's good because, it keep you from getting them mixed up. And then she's got this little blue wrench. It's like kind of a grayish blue. You see, you got a little black part here. So they did put some paint detailing onto it. So she can do some of that mechanical stuff they were talking about. And CoverGirl, of course, comes with her hand cannon. There we go. So she's got two guns, whereas the original had zero. And then the last additional accessory that she has is this one with the braid, this extra head with the braid and the cap. And you can see it says the Pitts Garage on it because that was the name of the G.I. Joe headquarters in the comic book. And just in case you didn't know, you can take the head and the hair apart, so we can swap out the head and the hair. Isn't that nice? And of course, CoverGirl on the package. She's got the long hair, and she's got a nice smile on her face. Doesn't she look lovely? And to me, the face looks similar enough to that earlier face that I could imagine them being the same people. But it does look a little less severe in terms of her facial expression, and I think a lot of people will be happy with that. So this one, she doesn't quite have the razor sharp cheekbones, but she still has kind of the same look. I think it works. Bobby Wald says, I have my retro CoverGirl. Well, you probably do love her because she is awesome. But I have my retro CoverGirl. I just haven't taken her out yet. Yeah, I've had her for a while, and I haven't taken her out till right now either. But yeah, you can take you can swap the hair. Like if you have one face that you prefer and one hair that you prefer, you can swap them back and forth. So that's nice. And I do like the little Easter egg of the Pitts Garage on there. For those of us who know, she looks like she's got a couple little grease stains on her cap. So this is probably what you would put on her while she's actually like working on a vehicle and she's got her hair back. I remember I'd seen online that the actress Sydney Sweeney is actually quite adept a mechanic. So CoverGirl isn't that unrealistic, but yeah, Sydney Sweeney, like one of her hobbies is working on cars, and she's got like vintage cars that she like repairs and restores, and maybe if they do another G.I. Joe live action movie and they got CoverGirl in it, maybe maybe get Sydney Sweeney to it. Like, I think Sydney Sweeney might make a good Power Girl, or Power Girl. Well, she make a good Power Girl too. She make a good Cover Girl is what I'm saying. But either or, whatever. But yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and put the longer hair back on her, since I kind of feel like that's the default version. But real quick before I actually do that though, she can look up about that far when she doesn't have the hair on there. So it is going to get in the way. But yeah, I think the top half of this is all reused from the previous CoverGirl figure. Maybe not the abs. I think the abs might be a new piece, because I don't remember. I was thinking that one used the abs from Lady J as well. So they purged this figure of all the Lady J parts and made her some new parts. And this one, unlike the original one, which was based on the vintage figure with the same coloration, with the tan pants and the brown jacket and all that, this one, the coloring on it is based on the animated series. This is how she looked on the Sunbow animated series, and that's why she's blonde. Personally, I prefer CoverGirl to be blonde, because I think when you make her a redhead, it's like she looks too much like Scarlet when she's a redhead. And there weren't any other blonde women on the G.I. Joe team in the 1980s, so it made her a little more unique. Now, of course, by this point, we've got Bombshell or Bomb Strike or whatever you want to call her. She's a blonde, and I guess Helix could technically be considered a blonde, but I think that's more of like a pigmentation kind of issue, like Doc Hammer, But yeah, like I like her best as a blonde. But hey, women change their hair color all the time. I always see women like doing different hair colors and changing their hair color out, and just feel like doing something a little different. Oh, I'm going to be a blonde this month. I'm going to be a brunette next month. Who knows? But I like the head sculpt. It's got like a nice grin on her face. It's almost like they overcorrected from that previous CoverGirl figure where like people thought she looked a little severe, and now she's all bright and cheerful. But if you want a more neutral expression, you got that head too. So it's nice that they gave her some options. Let's go ahead and talk about the articulation some. So her head should, in theory, rotate all the way around, but she's got that long hair. It's going to get in the way. So yeah, I can get it to go all the way around, but I'm not going to bother. But yeah, and like I said, she can't look up very far when she's got the hair on. So that's why I wanted to look at her articulation with the hair off for a second. She can look down about that far, tilt her head kind of quizzically from side to side. Of course, the arms rotate all the way around the shoulders and raise up to the sides about that far. She's got a butterfly joint on there, so they move back and forth about like that. She's got a shoulder bicep swivel. I don't know what I'm talking about. Bicep swivel, bicep rotates all the way around. She's got a little patch on her arm there. It says AFV. And she's got other patches over here on this arm that say Krieger, Armor, and E4. So there we go. There's that. And then she's got a joint at the upper rib cage. Not an ab crunch, but it's one of these more like a 25th anniversary figure. So that does rotate all the way around and gives you some wobble from side to side, back and forth. And she rotates all the way around the waist. And that's got some wobble to it where it can move from side to side, back and forth, really any which way you want to. Kind of reminiscent of a vintage 1980s G.I. Joe figure, but it's not on an O-ring. It's on a ball on a socket, but it reminds me a lot of the vintage G.I. Joe, that particular articulation anyway. And her belt kind of came up from her pants. I don't know if it was all the way down when it was in the package, but I think I would prefer for her belt to be all the way down with the top of her pants. And she's got little belt loops painted onto her belt, little olive drab belt loops. So that does seem to imply to me that this is a belt that's supposed to hold up her pants. But it doesn't have belt loops in the back, so she missed the belt loops in the back. Also, it does have like lots of pouches and a holster. And the holster implies to me it's some kind of duty belt. So I don't know. Maybe she's just got olive drab belt keepers. I don't know. Maybe that's the case. But she's got a little pouch over here, a little gray pouch. I'm trying to move her arms so you can see that a little better. But even the shadow's kind of hiding it. And you see she's got a little loop there for a wrench, which is a nice little detail. And I always like having extra storage for the little extra accessories. So yeah, they put a lot of thought into this one. And I'm going to say this right now, even without having been through everything, this is a better figure than the previous CoverGirl figure. And I'm not somebody who was hating on the previous CoverGirl figure. Remember, I said that I liked that head sculpt. I thought that head sculpt was fine. But, you know, it did still leave some room for improvement, let's be honest. And I think that they did improve upon it with this one. I think for anybody who was disappointed in that previous CoverGirl figure, this one will scratch the itch for you. This will be the CoverGirl figure that that you'll want to have in your collection, I think. So let's go ahead and have a look at her with some of these. Oh, wait, we haven't finished up articulation. So she does have the drop-down hips, like G.I. Joe figures typically have. And CoverGirl can kick up about that far. She can do the splits no problem. She's got a thigh cut, so the thigh rotates all the way around. She got double jointed knees. That's about the range of motion you get at the knees. She does have a boot cut, so the boot rotates all the way around. Foot points down about that far. Foot points up about that far, and it's on one of those cool Hasbro rocker ankles, so the foot rotates all the way around. And you can see she's got kind of dark brown, almost black boots. They look like dark brown to me, with a lighter brown boot cover over them. So yeah, like I said, this coloration is very much based off of the G.I. Joe animated series, the old Sunbow animated series, and even then, it's how she looked in the first few episodes, the first 5-part miniseries. When CoverGirl was in that was what she looked like. And when they had her on the regular series later on, then she was colored more like the original action figure. But personally, this is my preferred look for CoverGirl. This is how I like her best, with the blonde hair. I think that makes her a little more unique as far as our G.I. Joe characters go. So let's see her holding some of these accessories, and I'm going to start off with her automatic pistol, her sidearm, her hand cannon, and it's just a massive gun, especially for a girl her size. But I think that's kind of hot. I don't know. I'm not gonna lie. Like I like a girl with a gun. But yeah, you can see like it's almost got. I think this is almost supposed to be like maybe like a little suppressor in the front here. I'm not sure, like a little mini suppressor or some kind of barrel extension or something like that. I'll see if I can get the camera to focus on it a little bit better. It's kind of a little Glockish looking gun. Again, I'm not like an expert on guns, but to me it has kind of a Glock sort of look, or like maybe like a smaller Desert Eagle. But yeah, so that's what she looks like holding the gun. And as I mentioned before, she's got this little teeny tiny holster over here to hold it in. And it, even though it's a big gun in a small holster, it does the job. So there you go. It holds her gun. That's the important thing. And you know, I just went ahead and put the wrench in the belt loop because I was so excited about that. I didn't actually think to, maybe I should actually show her holding the wrench before I do that. So now I got to take it out of there. And since we got her with the wrench, let's go ahead and put the cap on her since she's about to be doing some work. So there she goes, ready to get to work on one of them tanks and figure out what's wrong with it. And you know, if it's being too stubborn, that's why we got the sledgehammer. So she's ready to get to work now. Oh man. Yeah, I really like the loop for the wrench. That's a really cool addition to this character. So, it might have been the sort of thing where somebody at Hasbro felt like they let people down with that first CoverGirl figure, which, like I said, I thought was a fine figure, but a lot of people were disappointed in it. So they really put some effort into giving us a great CoverGirl figure this time. That was a good CoverGirl figure. I'm not gonna lie, I liked it, but this is a great CoverGirl figure. Oh, I didn't talk about the wrist articulation either. So the wrists rotate all the way around, and the right wrist has a vertical hinge, one of these, and the left wrist has a horizontal hinge, one of these. So, and then she does have the double jointed elbows. That's about the range of motion you get at the elbows. I'm going to go ahead and put this thing back on her head because she's creeping me out looking like that. Reminds me of when Lucy Liu got killed in Kill Bill. And Uma Thurman just chopped the top of her head off and it was all flat. And there she is with the laser rifle looking all badass. Yeah. And if you wanted to have that more sort of serious look, we can always swap the new head on there, which hopefully will not give me too hard of a time, since the heads lately have been kind of stiff popping onto the necks. I've had some problems with swapping out alternate heads lately. Yeah, she looks a little bit like Sydney Sweeney. I don't know if they did that on purpose or not, but there we go. CoverGirl has good genes, I guess. And her belt popped back up again. Oh, well, whatever. That's just going to happen. So, that's a nice head sculpt. It looks good. But I do like the smiling head, so I'm going to put that back on her. There we go. A lot of people have their ideas as to who CoverGirl should hook up with as far as like members of the G.I. Joe team. And I don't think she's ever officially had, as far as I know, like any kind of long-running love interest. Like it's probably nice to have at least one girl that just isn't on the team to be somebody's girlfriend. I mean, like I think it's unfair to say that about Scarlet, certainly, but the love story between Scarlet and Snake Eyes was in there from the very beginning. It was baked in, and then of course, in both the comic books and the animated series, Flint and Lady J were pretty much an item. And, in various cartoons and comics, I've seen Jinx paired up with Lieutenant Falcon and paired up with Budo and paired up with Chuckles. Personally, I like the idea of a love triangle between Jinx and Chuckles and Lieutenant Falcon, and Chuckles is more the bad boy, and Falcon is more the straight-laced Eagle Scout kind of guy, and she likes them both, but she's not sure which one she likes more, that sort of thing. So that's kind of how that is in my mind. But yeah, like I don't think CoverGirl ever really had like an official love interest in any of the media. Although if you ask fans of the cartoon, they would probably want to pair her up with Shipwreck. And if you ask fans of the comic book, myself, probably more likely pair her up with Clutch. But Shipwreck and Clutch are kind of cut from the same cloth. It's like, I think they did a better job of doing Clutch when they did Shipwreck on the animated series than they did when they actually did Clutch. The Jersey boy with the Southern accent. And they wrote him off the show fairly quickly anyway. It's funny how a character can be such a major character in the comic book, where like Clutch was always a major character in the comic book, even after his figure wasn't on the shelves anymore. But it was barely in the cartoon. I think he maybe had like enough lines on the cartoon where I could count them on five fingers, like on one hand. That's how you phrase that. That's how you humans phrase that. But I'd seen one person who said they like to pair CoverGirl up with Tripwire, which I thought was interesting, and kind of like this, clumsy, awkward nerd paired up with like the hottest woman in the world. But you could really hook her up with anybody on the team you want to, since I don't think, like I said, I don't think she has like a really canon love interest like that. Or you could just keep her single. Like, she joined the army because she was sick of being judged by her looks. And she's keeping it that way. And maybe she plays the field. Maybe she dates all these guys like at various points and just strings them all along. And she's the one with all the power in these relationships, and all the dudes are just like, do, like that. We've all been there, haven't we, fellas? But yeah, great figure. I'm really happy with how this turned out. I will say that, like, when I first got this figure, like, when I first saw this figure, I was thinking, well, she looks like they did a better job with her than the previous CoverGirl figure, but like, how much am I really going to like this figure? And it turns out I like her quite a bit. I like this one a lot better than the previous one. Like I said, I liked the previous one. I was not somebody who was critical of that one like a lot of people were. I always kind of have my own sort of nitpicks and things they could have done better, and things that not necessarily could have been done better, but that I would have done differently if it was me. But this one, I can't really think of that much that I would have done differently. Honestly, like, I maybe might have made the hair not quite so long. I kind of feel like they probably overcorrected on that from the shorter hair that she had on the previous classified figure, which, let's face it, that's more accurate to the vintage figure. So I get it, but maybe it could have been like, maybe about like about like that length probably would have been what I would have gone for. But again, it's something that like kind of makes her unique among the other Joes. So I like her. This turned out well. This is a good figure. This is definitely worth picking up. If you haven't got her already, definitely do. So yeah, definitely I would recommend her. So we've got one more retro card figure to open up, which is Flint. So we will be opening up Flint on the next episode. And then I've still got all those 2-packs. Well, I've opened up one of them because I opened up Desert Scorpion, but we've still got Law and Order, and we've still got Sergeant Slaughter and Mercer. And so Sergeant Slaughter and Mercer, Law and Order, Flint will be the next episode. The police officer, and then I've got the Super 7 Reaction Plus figures, and I'm just going to open up those that I have all in the same episode, so that way we can just bang all those out, especially since they're just kind of like retro style figures. I figure that that's going to be the best way to do that. And I've got a lot of stuff to get to because I want to do those Princess Bride figures very soon. And of course, I've got the a lot more Ninja Turtles, a lot more Masters of the Universe, a lot more DC Universe Classics. I'm going back in time in my mind. A lot more DC Multiverse, excuse me. Although who knows, with Mattel get the DC license back, they might do more DC Universe Classics. You never know. Personally, I'm hoping, like I said, they'll do something in the vein of Masterverse when they get that license back, and give us some Masterverse, because I love Masterverse, and I would love it if we had some DC figures that were of that type of quality coming from Mattel. Are they better than McFarlane's DC Multiverse? And you be the judge on that. But I feel like Mattel does a really good job with the Masterverse figures. And if they can do Masterverse style DC figures, I'll be excited about it. But that's it for CoverGirl. I hope you enjoyed this episode. If you did, please make sure that you like and subscribe and all that fun YouTube stuff down below. And hey, there's Sean Franklin coming in just under the wire. I was just about to end this episode, and then Sean Franklin showed up. So hi, Sean Franklin. Always good to see you, even though, unfortunately, you're catching us at the tail end. How was my Christmas? Oh, it was great. Saturday before Christmas, I think I'd mentioned this. I went over to my sister's house and spent some time with her family. And my dad was there, and my stepbrother was there, and he brought his boys. So my nephews on that side of the family. So I got to see them. I hadn't seen them since last Christmas. Actually, it's been a busy year, and we had some fun over there. We watched A Christmas Story and opened up some presents. Watched that new Grinch. I say new; it came out in like 2018, but I had never seen it. That animated Grinch movie. I'm still more of a Boris Karloff kind of guy as far as the Grinch goes. And then Christmas Day, Christmas Eve, I got to hang out with some friends and we had Chinese food, and that was fun. And Christmas Day, I went over to my mother's house and visited with my sisters and my other nephews. So I got to see all the nieces and nephews this year. So that was cool. And we just kind of chilled and watched movies. If you watched the rock and roll episode, the last episode that I did, I talked about how this was the first Christmas that we'd had since my stepfather had passed away, and he was diagnosed kind of just after Christmas last year. So I don't think too many people in my family were really thinking about how to do Christmas this year. So we wound up just kind of having a chill sort of Christmas where we watched some movies and played some games, and we had brunch. We didn't have a proper Christmas dinner. We had French toast, scrambled eggs. It was good. I'm not trying to say it wasn't good. I enjoyed it, and I had never had my sister's scrambled eggs before, and she made really good scrambled eggs. Which my stepfather, when he made scrambled eggs, I kind of felt like he overcooked them a little bit. They were a little too firm and dry for my tastes. He was a good cook and he cooked a lot of things well, but scrambled eggs were one thing where I was kind of like, I'll give me eggs over easy. But but my sister, she made these scrambled eggs. And at first they looked just like her dad's scrambled eggs. So I'm like, yep, she's her father's daughter, all right. But when I ate them, they were really good. They were really moist and fluffy and just they were a lot closer to how my grandmother made scrambled eggs in terms of the flavor and texture, even though aesthetically they looked more like my stepfather's scrambled eggs. So they were really good. I was really impressed with my sister's scrambled eggs. I thought they were really good. And she made French toast, and the French toast was good. And we had bacon and ham, and it was a good meal, even though it wasn't a traditional Christmas meal, but it was still really good, and I really enjoyed it. So we had a good time. And I talked with my cousin a little bit last night. I called her maybe around midnight, but she lives in California, so it was still Christmas time for her. So I got to talk to her a little bit on Christmas. So that was nice. So yeah, Christmas was good. I liked Christmas this year. So I hope you had a good Christmas as well. So not just Sean Franklin, although I was specifically talking to Sean Franklin when I said I hope you had a good Christmas. But to anybody who's watching this, I hope you had a great Christmas, and hopefully we'll see you again next year. Which next year is just a couple of days from now, isn't it? Yep, it's obviously day after Christmas. I don't know why I'm looking at the date. It's December 26th. Duh. So we got 4 more days left of this year. So hopefully I'll see you next week sometime. But we're going to have a few more episodes left this year. And like I said, I'm planning on doing Flint on the next episode, which is probably going to be tomorrow. So yeah, anyway, I think that's it for this episode. I stayed a little long just because Sean Franklin stopped by. But yeah, next episode we'll be opening up Flint, and you know, like I said, this one looks kind of like Sydney Sweeney, and I've got something to say about that one when we open it up. Oh, I forgot I had Lady J here, so we can go ahead and compare some of the Lady J. Yeah, like she doesn't have the same legs as Lady J, and it might be the same trunks, but I can't quite. No, it's different trunks. She has different belt buckle. So yeah, they purged all the Lady J parts from this new version of CoverGirl. So anyway, that's it for this episode. Hope you enjoyed it. I'm going to go ahead and end before I think of something else to say, but we will talk to you next time. Bye.